Hello friends, today and in this video we want to take a look at packet tracer 667 configure path. As you know, we have a three form for translation, private IP address to public IP address to get access to internet. We have a static net that using for web hosting, for example, dynamic net that you can use for some small workplace and company. And also we have port address translation or dynamic net with overload. It's same name. And in this form for net, many private IP addresses can be translated to a single public IP address because PAT uses port numbers to distinguish the traffic. And in this situation, thousands of users can be connected to internet by using only one or maybe two, for example, in this activity, two public IP address, and is very cost effective for a large company. And first, we should check objectives. Objectives are configure path or a dynamic net with overload and verify it. And also we have two form and two types of configuration. We can also using interface to configuration, and we can learn in this activity both of them. As you can see, we have two border routers here. For example, like your company has two offices in two different cities, and both of routers should connect it to internet, and both of them are border router. It can be called border router because connected directly to internet. And we have four steps to configure. First, we should create access list. We should go to router 1 and configure terminal. And first, we should say which network can get access to internet by administrator. Add administrator, for example, here you can write here access list number 1. This is name. This is only number. It's up to you. And we should permit which network address. I want to get access. I want to give access to both of them, both of networks here, and it's better write and use summarization. This is 172.16.0.0 instead of use two different. Also, you can, for example, write here 10.0 and after that subnet mask. This is subnet mask. For example, this one only I want to show you, and in the other side also you should write this networks is same, two lines, but in this activity you should only write one line for this command because we want to use summarization, and we can learn also summarization. And what is subnet mask? Subnet mask for /16. This is wildcard mask. Excuse me. Wildcard mask is 00255.255, and you can use it here. And now we should also like introduce or pool or create pool like a collection of your public IP address, because you have two or three or maybe more than one IP address is a public IP address, and you should create a pool and say IP net pool, and for example any name, like any name pool here. Excuse me, just a moment. And what is your public IP address? Public IP address, you can use two public IP address. We can start from this one and N2 234 and net mask. After that, you should write here. And what is your subnet mask or network mask? Network mask for this network address is /30. I can learn it from this one. And you have also created pool. Another thing, now we should associate access list with the net pool, like make connection between this pool and this access list. We want to mix them together. And in this situation, you should write here, this is like this comment, and also what is the number of access lists? This is number 1 that I have configured here. And after that, what is the pool name? You should write pool, also any name that you have configured. It's up to you. And overload, it means you want to use path overload, that name that point out and reference to uh, path. Yes. And the last step in this configuration, you should write which side is outside and which side is inside. Inside this interface that connected to internal here, this one, G001 and G000, and outside is the site and the interface that will be connected to the internet directly, 0010, because this because it goes to outside and it get access to internet. And in this situation, you should write here internet G00 and IPNet inside. And also we have G001 IPNet inside and interface serial 010 and outside, and it will be finished. And I want to also save it. And now we can verify dynamic net with overload implementation. For example, we do show run here. You can see some configuration that you have configured here, and also you have created pool, you have created also path, you have also, this is not, and also you have created access list, and it will be finished. And from the web browser of each of the PCs that use R1 as their gateway, yes, R1 as gateway, I mean PC1, L1, PC2, L2 use R1 as gateway to the internet, access to web page of server 1, because server 1 is in the other side and in it outside, and you can use, for example, I want to copy this IP address and go to, for example, PC2 and web browser, and you can get access to server 1 from PC2, because net and in this activity path create connection and establish connection for us to get access to the outside and the internet. And it's the duty of ISP, internet service provider. But as network provider and network administrator, you should learn it. And also you can also use L2, and it should be same. It should be same result. And after that, come back here and write show IP net translation. My bad. And you can see some information here. What is your inside global? It means public IP address, have used this IP address, and also this is the port number, and also this is inside or private IP address, and outside local and outside global, this is the other side, and it's also port number that have used for get access to HTTP. As you know, this is HTTP port number, and both of them is same. Both of them are same because this is in the internet and in the internet service provider. We don't use a private IP address. Okay. And part 3, configure path using an interface. Now we want to learn other form for configuration. Configure traffic that will be permitted. In the router to other office in other, for example, city, other city, you can configure, and same process. Configure terminal. You should first create access list. Access list. Number 2, yes, and permit. And what is the network address here? You can write 2 address here, 2 network address, or 1, like other things. Some maybe want to um, make summarization, but I want to show you other format. For example, this is other format that you can write here, 10.0, and it should be 0, 0, 0, 255, and also 11.0, other network. And now we should directly associate access list 2 with the net interface and allow addresses to be reused. In other form, you have created pool, but here you can directly connect it interface to this access list, and it you don't need to create pool. IP net inside source. What is my source list? Source list 2 that I have configured, and also interface, and which interface that will be connected directly to internet. This is serial 011. The only thing that you should write here, 011, as you can see. And yes, and also we should write here overload. It means I want to use path or dynamic net with overload, I mean. Yes, and configure the net interface also. And the last thing here, you should write here, interface serial 011. This is IP net outside, and G00 interface G000 IP net inside, G001 IP net inside also, both of them inside. And now we have also created configure R2 interface with appropriate inside that we have also configured, and now we should get access to server and go here and copy these address, and you can get access to yes, you can get access to server 1, and also here to server 1, and all of the computers and end users can get access to server 1 directly without you write path interface here. But also I want to show you one that we have configured here. This is interface, this is inside interface, this is also inside interface, both of them, and serial 011, this is IP address of serial 011, yes. And what I have configured both of them, and you can also use summarization. And there is nothing here, only I want to show you running configuration. And yes, as is finished, and compare NAT statics on R1 and R2, other thing, and show IP NAT static. And also we have only differences. This is you cannot see a public IP address here. Show IP NAT static. Yes. R1 lists dynamic mappings for the pool. This is the pool. Access is one pool, any pool name. And you can see also pool name here with subnet mask that has been configured. And R2 is only using the outside interface as the address to translate internal addresses. So there is no dynamic mapping here. You cannot see any pool name and any also pool or correction of network public IP address. You can see public IP address here because you have configured it and you have put it in the pool, but here no. You didn't use any pool, or you didn't use any dynamic mapping. You didn't use any or you don't talk about you didn't talk about, for example, which IP public IP address that you have used here, and it's difference between both of them. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe me and support me to like my channel, and also leave me any comments and any question if you want. Hi.